Pagliacci, Reedy.
Greedy, huh?
Yeah. Don, the world is so full of a number of things.
Hi guys, it's Jacob. I chose the Make 'em Laugh scene. The scene is basically Cosmo Brown trying to cheer up Don Lockwood, but just listen to Don Lockwood's laugh coming up here. It's a bit unnatural and pronounced. Just listen.
Big people have little humor, and little people have no humor at all. And in the words of that immortal
I think that might be the only time Don laughs out loud like that in the entire film. It sticks out, and it's a signal to the audience that we are meant to laugh. If the protagonist finds something funny, we should too.
My dad said, be an actor, my son, but be a comical one.
It's subtle and kind of hard to hear, but the timbre of Cosmo's voice softens slightly when he jumps from the piano. Just listen and see if you can hear it for yourself.
And Samuel J. Snodgrass, as he was about to be led to the guillotine, make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh.
Could you hear it? The timbre softens slightly. That's because all the songs of the film are pre-recorded, so any character who sings and dances like Cosmo here are actually lip-syncing. Keeping that in mind adds a kind of irony to the entire movie that fits its tongue-in-cheek tone, namely because of the troubles of the emerging talkie technology and the climaxing between Lina and Kathy. This is a movie about making movies, and it knows it. I think it's also worth mentioning that as Don is the protagonist of the film, Cosmo is a comic relief sort of character, and that's reflected in the builds of the two men. Don is athletic, while Cosmo is thin and wiry, not really the build of a leading Hollywood man. In class we mentioned suspension of disbelief. That is, we, the audience, are willing to go along with things when something as odd as a musical number spontaneously erupts on screen. This suspension of disbelief is still not broken even as workers do their jobs around Cosmo's performance. It's an example of excellent mise-en-scène, as almost none of the workers are shown. Their eyes are all downcast, and nearly every one of them is wearing a cap that obscures their features. This is wise, as otherwise it would have been distracting to the audience to see their eyes and faces. Cosmo's humor in this scene manifests principally as vaudevillian slapstick, which is broad, mostly pratfalls and watch out, Cosmo! Ooh! Interestingly, here you can hear a crank sound effect. Just listen. This comedic crank sound effect is interesting as it's not that it's non-diegetic, it's very non-diegetic. It's very obviously added in, yet it still doesn't disturb the suspension of disbelief. And here we have the scene with Cosmo and the dummy. There's another sound effect here, a hollow bonk sound. Just listen. So another non-diegetic sound that's not music. When talking about suspension of disbelief, I think it's interesting that Cosmo is sitting in front of an obviously painted movie backdrop. It's an interesting parallel, that the tools that filmmakers use to suspend reality are on full display here, and yet the audience is left undisturbed. And here we have Cosmo wrestling with himself on the floor. The movie seems to be him wrestling between music and lyrics and sound. The drums, despite being instruments, are almost like sound effects here, and they take the place of lyrics. And here we have another tribute to vaudeville, specifically the Three Stooges. Anyway, I'm not sure if it's true or not. I hope it is. Apparently this actor, Don O'Connor, was, when he was alive, a heavy smoker. So this running up the wall thing nearly killed him. And, you know, knowing that makes me laugh. So thank you to Mr. O'Connor and Singing the Rain, and thanks for watching.
Good Lord, acid rain.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling! Ah! It burns like a Glasgow bikini wax. Gah!